Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Adam Ratliff with Adam So Fun, and today we are going to put some Sewtites into our leaders. So I have a new set of leaders. These are what the new Handy Quilter leaders look like. And I've been using the Sewtites Magnets. If you don't know, these are Sewtites Magnums. This is what they call their long armor pack. This is a set of 20. And pretty much you need a set to fit a full 10-foot set of leaders. Because how we're going to do this is I'm going to put one in the very center, and then I'm going to make a 2-inch gap, and then I'm going to stick another one. And on these magnets, let's see, this is all, they package it up so nice, and I'm just going to rip it open. So this is a block of magnets. There's 20 magnets. The reason I like these compared to some other out there are they are very strong, but they're small. They're 4 inches. I just slid one off. This is what they look like, the Sewtites Magnums. They do come with a back. So I've been using these for a while, but I haven't been using them the proper way. I've usually only loaded my tops, or not usually, I've only loaded my tops with them because my leaders on my machine have zippers, they have the snappers in them. I couldn't put this piece in to actually use the magnets as designed, so I would load my tops and I just pin. This is not pinning anymore. I would just stick this straight to the top onto my bar and roll, and then it would work. It worked fine. I did that with a lot of my smaller tops super fast. I mean, just right to that bar, through all my leaders, everything. It worked great. And as a matter of fact, I have the zippers on now, and I would use the zipper tape to line everything up. The teeth of the tape gave me a lip to snap to. It was fantastic. But they are made for this to go into the hem of your leader. So this is the back piece, this is the top, and then you'll have a place, and then you can just snap them right on. I was at a shop and they had them in their leaders. I'm like, I need to get a new set of leaders so I can try this out. So I got myself a new set of leaders. This is what the new Handy Quilter leaders look like. You get 2 regular and a super leader, so that's great because all the machines are coming with super leaders now. If you don't have a super leader, what a super leader is, this leader is 17 inches, a super leader is 27. You get an extra 10 inches to work with. It just makes loading life so much easier. So first thing, I need to get my backs off. When you're doing this, because you can't just like grab it and pull it. Too strong. You're going to slide it. So I just use my thumb. I can't do it backwards. Slide it over, maybe 2 thumbs. Once it's there, I can slide it off and pull it off. They are strong magnets. Keep them away from like all your electronics. They're fine on the long arm. They're not going to give you any issue. But like, don't stick it on your computer. When I get these, so this is just a block of 4, I go stick this on the side of my frame. Because on my arms of my frame, metal. This is metal. Or I can stick them to my tabletop that I'm sitting at. And I'm going to need to do that with all of these because I'm going to need 19 for this 10-foot set of leaders. I need 19 for each leader. So I'm going to get these off and we'll see you back here in a second. All right, I've got all my backs off. I'm just going to get them in order, put them to the side because I'm going to need them in a minute. So now I have them all ready. I can take this stuff off. Just clear my table off a little bit. So I know teaching, we hear a lot of people, oh, I use magnets from here, I use magnets from there. You can get really big, long magnet bars from Harbor Freight. What I also hear a lot is people saying, wow, I pinched my finger, it hurt really bad. Or somebody actually dropped the magnet and broke their toe. Or they stuck the magnet on and they couldn't get it off because they're really big. That's what I like about the 4-inch magnets, is they're strong enough to hold, but easy enough to work with. I think that is, as I look at different systems and try different things, that's one of the things I like to look at, ease of use. Like, is somebody going to be able to use this and have success using it? This leader's already done. You might be able to hear that. I don't know. But I did go in and I stuck the metal pieces. You can see that this isn't bending. They're in here. You can hear it ding on my machine. Like, oh, I hit those, but whatever. They are already in there. I've done the other 2 leaders. I just have one left because I wanted to show you how I put them in here. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to stitch a channel. If you stitch a 5/8 channel, the bar can get in and it's going to be a nice tight fit. So this one's a nice tight fit. I did my super leader at a 3/4 inch channel. It made sliding these in so much easier, but they don't sit as tight. So I'm gonna try to go like between 5/8 and 3/4 just to let it slide a little bit easier, because some of these I had to like actually force down. And I don't really want to do that. I feel like that's probably gonna stretch the leader out, although I'm sure it's not. But that's our first step. We want to make that channel. So I have my new leader. Let's see, I'll toss that one on the floor. So this is my new leader. It's empty. I have marked the centers. So I have the center of my Velcro side and the center of my leader side. And I'm just going to stitch this with that channel. Nothing fancy. I did increase my stitch length. I'm at like a 3.3. I think the first one that I did was a 3.0. So you get to decide. I need 5/8, 3/4. We're going to go right in the middle of it. And seriously, I just eyeball this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a channel to hold some stuff. I am going to backstitch at the beginning and at the end. And I think this is really important. You want to have, if you have a walking foot, you want to have a walking foot on. You want to make sure that this is being pulled all the way through nice and easy and being pulled by the machine, and everything's feeding through. So I have my AccuFeed foot and I'm stitching on my Genomium 7. I love it. I forgot to backstitch because I wasn't paying attention. It's okay. So now I'm my channel. So what I did is I took my hem side, I just stitched a channel that these metal bars will be able to go in and slide through. It's not perfect. Part of it I zigzagged a little bit. Whatever. It is just a channel to hold stuff. It's gonna be okay. So that's my first step. Like I said, I need to get my pins. I need to get my pins. The appropriate pins for this. Alright, well this is not the pin I was looking for, but it will work. I like to use a ballpoint pin for this. I just want to make sure it's something that won't like rub off, and I don't think it will, but whatever, it's also washable. So I'm going back to my center. I've already marked it, but I want to make sure that everything's nice and that mark was right. So I'm going to use my center fold for this next step. And that's okay. I don't have to worry about if that marks off a little bit. I just want to make sure I have a magnet in the center. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. And by it, my leader. Get my center crease. I'll move this out of the way. I'm using my 2x8. This is my Classic Creations ruler. It has a non-slick back to it. So I can fold it, and also my mark is like 1/8 of an inch off the wrong way. So I'm just going to line this up with the edge of my fold. Does this have to be exact? No, it's okay. And I'm making a line on my leader. It's not even the full length of what's going on, and I'll bring you over here so you can see this. But it's not even the full length. It's going to be hard to see because the leaders are all marked up too. It's just a vertical line here because I'm going to now stitch a little border. What are we calling it? A dam. A side of my section. I'm still at that I'm doing a 3.3 stitch length. I'm not even going to tie off. I'm just going to stitch, and then I backstitch over it and cut my threads. So what I've made is my first dam in my channel. So this is when one, you have to make sure you're paying attention. So I have my center mark. I have my first dam. So I'm going to go to the side that will slide my backing in, or my insert into the right place. And because I made those slots a little taller, I might be able to get this slide down easily. Oh, much easier than the first one. Not as easy as the second one, although it's still sliding pretty well. So I'm going to say yes. I like right between a 5/8 and 3/4. It is now up against the other side, and then I just come to my machine, flop this stuff around. Managing this thing is just horrible. I don't want to stitch on that metal bar because that's going to be horrible. So I'm going to make sure that my bar is out of the way, but I do stitch pretty close. And stitch, 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 stitch. Get to the end, back stitch, lock it, and by lock it, I just cut it. And now I have my first piece in. So I'm going to work off one direction. I'm going to work the other direction. So this side will do last. So I'm just going to throw this into my throat space because now I should be able to just kind of leave this stuff up here and just squish it over. So that's where I get my pin, get my ruler. I can line my ruler up with that last stitch and mark. I'm going to bring you over here so you can see this up close. Alright, so here's our first piece. That's my center mark. This is the line that I marked. You can't even tell because I stitched right on it. I slid my bar in and I stitched the other side. So now we're just going to work off to the left. You can go both ways. I found that going one direction is easiest. So here's my stitch. Ruler goes next to it. I'm not even trying to be super specific. I just want to put the ruler next to it because I know I need these about every 2 inches. Line. The line doesn't even go all the way because now I'm going to slide over, get my ruler out of the way, put all this up there, and foot and stitch. Back stitch, and cut. So now I know I can't put a metal in this way. It won't reach here. It's going to get stuck over here. So I'm going to come into this side, find my end, which happens to be here. You're going to do I'm doing a lot of this off camera. Sliding it down. It slides through pretty easy because I made the channel a little bit bigger. Oh, I wish I did this on the first one. So now there's my metal. You can kind of see it in there. I can. I hope you can on the camera. So I'm going to make sure that this is pushed all the way over. Bring my the metal bar to my foot and stitch. And I don't want to stitch on that metal bar. Most important thing, lock it. And I'm actually going to turn my machine down a little bit. Now, same process. Piece goes on, a ruler goes on, mark gets marked. Sew the mark. Ooh, we're stuck on the camera. Sew the mark. Get my metal backing, slide it in my side, all the way down to my seam. I dropped one and it slid all the way out. I'm like, oh, of course it did. Slide everything over, make sure I'm not stitching on the metal, and stitch. And lock. And I'm just repeating that process. Mark, stitch, slide, stitch. So that's mark, stitch, slide, and stitch. Cut. So I'm going to do that and we will see you here when it's done. Alright, so I'm working on the last one. I did not go full 2 inches. I went probably 1 3/4. This doesn't have the straight lines down the center. because I wanted to make sure at the end I had a place to put a seam to lock this in here. So what I did is I measured like 4.5 from the edge, or from the edge of my like seam thing. So this is, I don't know, 4 3/4, whatever, and made my line, stitched it in. So these two are going to be a little closer, but I want to make sure that I can package this side in nice, like a nice little package. Really be careful when you're doing this, because the other thing you don't want to do, don't hit that metal bar. They have a little bit of shift. One of our followers, Carrie, says she likes to sew a 4-inch, or what did she say? She sews a little extra so that she can slide things around. I don't think she actually sews little pockets. She sews every 4 inches so she can slide the rulers around. She's very particular, and she said that's what works for her. So I've done to the left. Carrie, if you're watching, you are very particular. You even said it yesterday in the live. I love you guys. I get a lot of tips from you guys, especially I love when you guys share with each other. So now I'm back to the center, and I'm just going to work the other way. We're going to mark, sew, and feed. So I will continue to do this side, and we'll see when it's done. So I'm at the end, and I knew it was going to be close. So what I did, went to mark my line, stuck my piece here. I have enough to make sure I can sew it in at the end, so this last one's going to work. If I was worried, I could shift this over a little bit like I did on the other side. That goes in. And I have just a little bite right here I get to take. So now this leader's done, and I have all of my pieces in place. They're not going to shift, and they're all ready to load. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. All right, we'll see you in a second. All right, so now all 3 leaders are done. My super leader, which is huge, the one I just did, and the one I threw on the ground. So now that I have the nice little packages, oh my gosh, can I even get them lined up? This isn't gonna work well because they're magnets and they're going to be attracted. But I'm going to be able to, when I load, so my bars are in there, so I'm going to be able to come lay my fabric. I have the seam line. I can match that up. I can match the piece the line where I stitched, whatever. But this is going to allow me to lay everything out, come in with my magnet, and snap. So now everything's held taut and tight, and that will hold everything into place. My fabric's there, and this is gonna also allow me to load. So when I pin, the way I pin, I always get that weird crease at the end. This will keep that from creasing because I can lay things just flat on top of my bar and snap and snap. So as always, please like, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so you're notified when new videos drop. Follow me on social media, AdamSoFun with an S-E-W on Facebook and Instagram. If you were following, you would have saw me talk about this before this video came out because I talked about it in a live. I try to do lives every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific. you can jump on, ask questions and things. I will put out videos of how to load these the burrito method, or whatever the way that we're gonna keep it the burrito method, even if we don't make a burrito, because I want to see. It's going to be a little bit different, because right now the way the burrito wouldn't work, or would work, but it would put that fold in the fabric. I'm going to see if I can devise a way so I don't get that fold in the fabric, because that's what's important to me. Especially, like, that's the benefit of using these, right? And these are Sewtites Magnums. If you're shopping Sewtites, I do have a discount code ASF10 when you're shopping at Sewtites.com. It gives you 15% off your purchase. These are expensive, I'm not gonna lie. It's a nice chunk of change, especially if you have to get 3 of them, for one for each liter. So maybe try them on 1 liter first. If you go back and watch the using the magnets to load Autumn the Fox, that uses just I think I used 10, so maybe just one of these sets. It'll give you 20, but it shows how I load it by just popping them right onto the bar itself, and it's just the top. You're gonna really need to do this method to do the back. You really need to do this method to load your backing, or you would have to pin to the bar, and that's a lot of wasted fabric that you're going to have extra up and down. So I don't know. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for visiting. This is my chain link quilt, so you'll see it loaded actually with the magnets. You'll probably see that before you see the magnet video, because I got to get this quilted for postage. So we'll see you in the next one, whenever it is, whatever it is. And at the end of the day, it's just quilting. We want to have a good time. Go have some fun. Bye, guys.